Hi guys, it's Sweetie. I'm back with Planner Love, making a bookmark to match my planner, and in fact to match my designer washi tape binder clips. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use this softer green down each side of my bookmark, and I'm going to put the accent washi tape in the middle. So this is essentially a washi tape bookmark. It's actually made out of a piece of packaging cardboard. It's not the stiffest, it's fairly flexible, doesn't really matter in this case. I've gessoed it to give it the white so my washi tape will show up, and what I end up doing is I cover the whole front side. I do both of the ends on the bookmark the long way with washi tape, and then I come down the center with the washi tape as well. And my background washi tape, which is what I'm calling this soft green washi tape, happens to be the same width as my focal washi tape, which makes it kind of nice. But I've also made these where my background washi tape that I put down the middle is wider than my focal washi tape, and that works too. What doesn't work is leaving that stripe of white gesso down the center, because your focal washi tape, the very center of it will be real bright, and then the edges of it, of course, are muted by whatever color you put on the two ends. And that's why you end up covering the entire bookmark with washi tape, is so that you don't have that distracting bright white. Now, I found that using an X-Acto knife helps give you nice even edges. It's the best thing for trimming it closely, but you do want to burnish the edges down, as I'm doing right here, and that helps, of course, the washi tape stick. And there I'm showing I don't like that bright white. It doesn't work, so I do cover it all up. I did one where my center strip was actually darker, and that turned out pretty nice too. So I do several things with this bookmark, and I don't make you watch me through every single solitary step. I'll start it and then maybe skip to the end, so that this video is just not so long. So I trimmed it again, and we're not going to leave it like that. We're going to do some more to it to help it stand out. But one of the things that when I'm dealing with a planner I want to be real careful about is that I can clean the bookmark. Okay, same thing with the washi tape, same thing with the cover that I'm going to do. So I like decoupage. You can use Mod Podge, gel medium, whatever you have on hand is fine. You want to seal it. I'm using matte. It's my favorite. Use gloss if you like gloss, but I go through and put 2 to 3 coats on, not all at one time, and I'm making very careful. I'm making sure to get the edges, because we do want to seal that washi tape down as well, because we all know washi tape, not the stickiest of tapes. So we will put, or I put several layers of the matte medium down, and here you can see me drying it, and I don't make you go through the whole process of watching me do all of the drying. One of the things you want to be careful about when you're going to be using matte medium or anything like that is that you want to make sure that you're using permanent media, not water soluble, not water markers or watercolor or anything like that, because once you hit it with the gel medium or anything else, then it's going to run. I'm painting the background. I guess this is, I think, a Caribbean blue color. It's a little bit different than the front, but it still kind of coordinates with the blue and the flowers. So I felt like it was a good choice. And I keep flipping it over to make sure I don't get paint on the front, because if I get paint on in the early stages, it's much easier to take off. So then I dry this coat, and here I'm coming back with a second coat to get better coverage. Craft paint, it doesn't give the greatest coverage, but it's perfect for these kind of projects. And I really do like this color blue. It worked out very well. I don't show the ink that I use, and it's archival ink. It's Ranger archival manganese blue, and I'll get to that shortly, but I do some stamping on the back. Now, I like borders, so I'm going to go around the edges of my bookmark, and I tried to pick, this is a Posca acrylic paint marker, and any marker will do. Use what you've got, and I'm trying to show you that I'm also doing the edge as well, but I'm going to go around the entire bookmark and just kind of frame it up. Give it just a little bit more. We're going to do more to the bookmark. I did quite a few things, and again, you use what you've got in your stash. You don't need all the special stuff. And there you can see that going around it just really kind of helps the blue flowers pop out a little bit. But use your supplies and what you've got. A Sharpie would be fine. You don't have to use an acrylic paint pen if you don't want to, and if you've got acrylic paint pens, you certainly don't need to make it, it doesn't have to be Posca. I've got way too many acrylic paint pens. But now I'm also going around the edges, and this really gives whatever you're working on a really finished look if you just take the time to pay attention to some of the details. And there I'm showing you I've gone all over, so I kind of need that to dry. And yet one more coat of the decoupage, again in matte, and of course use what you have. There are so many things. When I started doing mixed media, I thought, oh, I have to have this, and oh, I have to have that, and you don't. You just really, really don't. What you need to do is just use what you have and be creative with it. Okay, my computer's giving me fits at this time, but there, I dried it. And now I've got a little stamp. It's a quote. It says, "Living is not enough. One needs," I can't read it. "One needs freedom, sunshine, and a little flower." And it's by Hans Christian Andersen. And I'm using Ranger archival ink in manganese blue. I think that's my favorite color that they do. And again, it's archival, so it's permanent, and when I go over it, it's not going to bleed. Whereas if I use distress inks, they reactivate with water, and I would have a mess. So, and you don't need a quote. You just need to decorate the back somehow. If you want rub-ons or stickers, or just some flourishes for some stamps, or if you want a doodle on the back of your bookmark, again, you do what works. I'm using some background stamps that I carved for Cindy Utter's February challenge, and she just, you take an eraser and you make some marks in it, and that's what I did, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I can't tell you how much I loved the look of those stamps on this bookmark. It worked so well for me. I'm so glad she had that challenge, because I would never have carved just plain old, mark making background stamps. But they came in real handy, and I'm really pleased that I have them. So this definitely made me really happy. And there I'm showing you that's all the stamp is. I took a speedball lino cutter and just made some gouges in scraps of an eraser, just a white eraser. And these are the same kind, only just a smaller stamp, and they weren't quite long enough end to end, so I sort of cheated, and you'll see me do that in a minute. And it doesn't show. When you've got something like this, see, there's a little gap right there, it doesn't show. So you just cheat it in, and it works out fine. But I thought it framed up the stamp beautifully, and I really like the kind of monochromatic look on the back. It keeps it simple, and it's not distracting like my computer is being right now, trying to tell me that it needs to upgrade a program. It's one of those messages that's constantly popping up, and you can click go away, go away, go away. And see there. And I'm going to have to cheat it again. But that was an awesome challenge. She's got another one that is to make masks, and I'm planning on doing that one too. I even know what shapes I want, I've just got to get time to do it. So it takes a while sometimes. This video was originally like 55 minutes long for a bookmark. And so of course I edited it. Yeah, living is not enough. One must have sunshine, freedom, and a little flower. Hans Christian Andersen. So, and I do love that. Now again, to give it a more finished look, I'm using that same acrylic marker and just going around and giving it a border. And that's really all I do to the back of the bookmark. And there I'm showing you I've finished that, and I've got to dry it. Then I will end up wanting to go over it with decoupage again and seal everything up. But yep. And now I'm using a Pitt marker that is filled with India ink. And the nice thing about this is you can blend it, okay, while it's still wet, but once it dries, it's permanent. And what I'm trying to do is highlight that center strip of washi tape. And I do several things to do that. One is I take, this is a fairly light color, and I go in and you see me blending it, and I'm doing it again. So I actually do this twice, and I don't blend this time. Now if you don't have Pitt markers, don't worry about it. Use something again that is not water soluble, and go in and put a border around it, okay? One of the fun things that I like to do, and I'm trying to show you the difference in going over it a second time from the other side, is put like it looks like running stitches. You put little dashes alongside it, so it looks like it's kind of sewn with stitches, and that's perfect to do, again, as long as your ink is not water soluble. But you can also go in with a Sharpie and just like a pretty blue Sharpie, a light blue would be real pretty, or even a green, and go down alongside either edge of your bookmark. I come out and do yet another thing, and that's I've got a smaller Pitt marker, again with that India ink in it, and I'm going right up against it and highlighting one more time. So I do quite a bit to try and highlight that center strip, but anything that you've got that you can do, use what you've got for it. I could have taken another acrylic marker, okay, and a finer nib than I did the outside in, and gone through, and here I'm trying to show you the difference, how everything is making that center washi tape strip stand out. So, but it's, you know, depth and layers, and just playing around and seeing what looks good. So, and I was really happy with that. I was really happy with the way it picked up the blue and the flowers and highlighted it, especially since I had green on either side. And I really mixed two washi tapes that don't really go together. That soft green doesn't match the center because the center green is sort of a bright neon green. It doesn't matter. And there I'm showing you a pen that I could have used. Again, I would want to test it and make sure that when it was dry it was not water soluble, but to do those little running stitches down the side. Now I'm drying everything. Remember that pit marker is waterproof, and here we go, another coat. Now that I'm sure that that side is good and dry. And there I finally show you the ink that I used. When I'm doing anything like working with my planner, I want to make it as durable as possible because this is something that gets used every single day. So I put a lot of coats, and here I'm drying it again. And now I'm doing the front. So I give things a little bit of time to dry, even though I've dried them. And we are about done. Because I will dry this side, and I want some way to attach the bookmark to my planner, okay, so that I don't lose it. And what I end up doing is, you'll see me put the brad in. I put a brad in the very last picture there. That's the brad I'm going to use. So I'm going with a blue that matches, and I'm using my crocodile to punch the hole and then to put in the brad. And there it is, okay? And I think I'm showing you, okay, yeah, there you stick the brad face down in there like that, and then you just squeeze, and the crocodile does all the work. That's the end that secures the back side of the brad. So it's really easy with the crocodile. And in the end, I show you the strings that I attached to my bookmark, which I will use, and matching binder clip, to the strings that I used to attach the bookmark to my binder. And that's it. Thank you.